Well, I get up 11:30 p.m. I leave my house 12 midnight, and I come here 2 o'clock in the morning and started setting up everything, you know? It takes like probably 5 hours to set up and have prepare everything.
Want everything? Okay, you got it. No problem.
Okay, very hot though. You be careful.
As long as there has been a city here, there have been vendors. The very first street vendors were selling oysters, and then down the road, like the more immigrants coming to the city, like Jewish immigrants and Greek immigrants, things have been changing little by little. We have seen that vendors bring different kind of food and different merchandise from their culture.
This is the Indian fusion. Chicken biryani, lamb biryani, veggie biryani, kati roll.
I have spanakopita, I have tiropita, melo macarona, I make kuluraki, all that.
I'm the only first vegan dosa cart in the world. Dosa is a crepe made of rice and lentil. It's a special South Indian food. So you come into my cart like you come into my house and eating same thing, no any different, you know. Sometimes you get better food here. So the first one I make and I put it for the birds. That's how my grandma taught me, you know, because they can speak, they can ask you, you know.
Roughly, there are about 20,000 street vendors in New York City. Most of them sell food, but also other folks sell merchandise. Can be anything from gloves and hats and t-shirts, artwork and books and religious items.
Well, in fashion, we have people selling halal food, Chinese, Mongolian barbecue steaks, and then people selling general merchandise on the street.
There's a factory who built the cart, so you go tell the design how you want it, then they make it for you.
So food vendors are typically New Yorkers. Most of them are immigrants. Can be anybody from any age and any culture and any background.
You know, I'm 68 years old. I will not lie for my age.
Again, I love food. Most of them I learned back home, my grandmother in Sri Lanka.
We are from Bangladesh. From my childhood, I always behind my mom. Always, whatever he's doing, I help her, okay? I love the cooking.
And in different neighborhoods, they provide different food. It brings character to a neighborhood.
They are entrepreneurs, and vending is a really great platform for them to provide economic mobility for themselves, to start their American dream.
I'm from Greece, but I came here age 16. I have 2 daughters and I have 4 grandchildren. I have a mom, 95 years old. My mom stays with us. Greeks will take care of our mothers. We don't put it in homes.
So so many different crowd come. A lot of vegans from all over the world.
I'm a people person. I like to be with people. Turkey, bacon, egg, and cheese, and you want a donut today?
How spicy?
Very spicy. Best breakfast cart in the city, right?
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Mickey. I sleep around maybe 3.5 hours. Yeah, 4 hours the most if I can sleep.
It's a tough job because the weather is hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
I don't have to go to the sauna. This is sauna, 120 degrees, 130 degrees.
It's a lot of work, you know, and it's like not steady, you know, one day busy, one day, you know, depends on the weather.
You have to make sure you follow all the rules and regulations. Otherwise, police or the sanitation department will give you a hard time or give you a ticket.
A lot of people have this misconception about vendors just being out there for free and they don't have overhead, they don't have any expenses, they don't pay rent, but that's not the case.
I have a permit, I have a license. You know, these things you're not supposed to take it home. It's a commissary where the health department have access to it.
So food vendors are required to keep their carts and trucks in places what's called commissaries. It's this very special garage that's made for the food carts and trucks.
I get up in the morning, sometimes they close the road. So you have to wait when you can jump cars.
So the biggest obstacle is the permitting system. So food vendors at the moment in New York City cannot get permits from the city. because the city placed a cap on the number of permits back in the 80s. And since then, they never increased the number of what we call a citywide permit. So that permit is capped to 3,000 permits only. So that's the limit. And those who are lucky enough to get permits back in the days, some of them are not using the permits anymore, so they will take advantage of the system and rent those permits to the real vendors who are out there in the street every day working and taking a lot of money from them. Goes up to for about $20,000 or $25,000 for 2 years permit.
So the person renting out the permit is against the law.
It's like a big underground market going on, and a lot of vendors are being abused by the system.
Black market is like, look, who have the license, he do another job. And he said license somebody else who do the business, but this is not fair.
You can sell the permit. If I die, it goes away.
So we want to make sure the street vendors follow the same rules as the store owners.
A lot of people think that vendors don't have permits. They don't know the regulations of the health department. They don't get inspected, but that's all not true. I can tell you, like, as a food vendor for 9 years, like, all the health department rules that apply for restaurants, they do apply for the street vendors, but street vendors have more regulations to follow.
If you are, let's say, 1.5 feet from the sidewalk, you know, then that's no good. You have to be 2 feet. But my feet is small, so, you know, so I mark it and now I know what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Otherwise, they give you a ticket.
So we want to make sure everybody understands the rules and the regulations. They're there for a purpose. They're not there to hurt people. One side effect of the street vendors, especially those who use charcoal, you create a lot of air pollution. And there has been a study that a 12-hour car, 1 day in the 12 hours operation, is equivalent to a diesel truck driving from here to Denver. So that's why street vendors, they have to follow the rules.
They come and check everything, yeah, make sure everything okay and stuff. Yeah. Same like the restaurant.
Because New York City is a big city, very congested. In many areas, there are no spaces for the vendors. And also we have opposition from the restaurants because they have to pay high rent, high tax, and high labor costs. Okay? All these add up. So if you have a street vendor on the street, their cost is almost nothing compared to them.
As street vending business is really huge, it doesn't really stand on the street vendors themselves, but it expands in different ways. There are more than 100 commissaries in New York City, and you can imagine how many employees work in these places. That's a lot of employment happening all across the city. Also, when we look at the economic angle of it, like how much street vendors are buying from the wholesalers, from different companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all these huge corporations, but also the smaller ones down the road that provide a lot of their products.
Get up in the morning, you see your ceiling is a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day. You know, the rest of it is challenge in life. Smile, be happy, don't let anybody bother you.
Street vendors are so important for the economy, but also the city itself, to reflect the culture, to reflect the diversity of New York City.
If you observe all the rules and regulations, be a good neighbor, everybody loves you because you add to the character of the neighborhood.
Everyone love what I do and I love what I do. That's why I keep it simple. I got a lot of offers to open a restaurant and stuff, but I didn't get into it. I want to be outside with the people and stuff.
You talk to everybody, you see everybody, you do everything. Like, this is good.
You see people that say, I have to do this job because it gives me better money. But you have to be happy too, you know. Don't wait for Friday to come, right? You know, people that wait for Friday. Oh, what happened to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever? Your goal is make yourself happy every day, you know, and try, at least try, right? That's what I do.
Appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you for waiting.
Thanks, baby. Thanks. Enjoy your day.